It's time for the WarioWare Smooth Moves review for the Wii. This is my 75th review, hooray! And if you didn't already notice, I celebrated by creating a new intro for my reviews. I hope you enjoyed. Oh yeah, and happy 4th of July, America! So then, on to the review. This was the first WarioWare game I've ever played. I had known about the WarioWare game for the GameCube, but I was never really interested in it, mainly because I had no idea what it was. However, I of course now have a really good idea of what to expect if I ever do play that game. There is a story in this game, but it really doesn't have any purpose beyond the fact that it just exists. And actually, it basically has nothing to do with the game itself, so I'm not even going to bother with it and go straight to the gameplay. If you haven't played this game before, don't worry, you're not missing anything. This is a game that consists of over 200 microgames. These are super short minigames. Like, we're talking 3 seconds long. On the main map, you can select an area you want to play in. Each area will give you a short explanation of who the characters are in that area, and then you will play a set of microgames with a boss at the end, which is just a longer and usually harder microgame than the previous ones. Each microgame uses the Wiimote in one of many positions, and when the microgame starts, you will have to figure out in usually 3 seconds what you need to do with a certain position of the Wiimote. You are given 4 lives, so to speak, and it's usually not that hard at all. However, as you play through, the microgames will speed up, giving you less time to start, which adds to the difficulty factor. Hooray for logic! The graphics are... well, how do I put this? They are exactly what they should be for this type of game. And actually, if you haven't already noticed from the footage you've been watching, there are many different art styles for each microgame, some of which you might be pleasantly familiar with. The controls are usually different for each microgame, and most of all the positions work just fine. However, there was one position where the controls would not work properly, and that position was the waiter. It looks simple, right? Just hold the Wiimote out in the palm of your hand. Well, the problem is, if you are either too close or too far away from the sensor bar, it will not pick up your movements, and you will of course lose the microgame, which is frustrating because you know for a fact that you actually are performing the correct movements, but the sensor bar will not pick it up. Now, of course, this will happen with all the control schemes if you are too close or too far away, but this control scheme is very picky. Like I said though, all of the other control methods work just fine. Not only is this game fun, but it is also fun-y. Get it? Get it? Funny? Oh, forget it. Well anyway, the microgames are usually humorous, but the tutorials for each Wiimote position have their share of laughs as well.
This simple stance reflects one of life's fiercest and greatest sports: channel surfing.
Each time you complete an area on the map, you will unlock not only new areas to play in, but also complete minigames, some of which aren't even in the microgame set. If I had to find fault with this game, it would be with the story mode. It only took me an hour and 20 minutes to complete. Even though there are literally hundreds of microgames you can play when you're done with the story mode, I still think it was too short. I think what would have made it better is if each area on the map you have to complete had double the amount of microgames in order for you to win. Now, once you complete story mode, there are a number of new areas you can play, which gives you more sets of microgames, but I still think the story mode was too short. This is a huge microgame compilation, and so of course you have to have multiplayer in it. There are 8 multiplayer minigames, with 7 of them consisting of having to defeat the other players using microgames. All of them are fun to play, except my brother and I found darts to be kind of boring. I thought it was odd to put darts in, with it having nothing to do with any of the microgames. Plus, both my brother and I found the controls to be usually off. Our favorite minigame was Lifeline, where we have to play a set amount of microgames, and then at the end, we get to cut the lines holding both of us up, not knowing which line is connected to who. Whoever had more points at the end of the microgame, that person gets more safety lines. It's a lot of fun, especially playing with many people. WarioWare! Smooth Moves is a great game. Graphics are good for what the game is about, excellent controls, a huge amount of microgames, some of the humor is just downright hilarious, and is an excellent multiplayer game. But the downsides were 1, the waiter control scheme would just not work some of the times, 2, the story mode was just too short, and 3, the price tag. There's no way I would pay $50 for this game. $30 is the highest, but then again, I don't see myself coming back to play it over and over again. However, it's still a great game. If you have a bunch of friends over, and for some insane reason you don't have Brawl, this would be a great game to play as well. This game gets a 4.25 out of 5, with the title of Awesome.